1778. My wife never takes responsibility for her actions. I fully expect her to come home one day and say, "What was I supposed to do? Not sleep with him?"
1779. Being the transitional girlfriend sucks.
1795. I procrastinate. I waited until the last minute to see my father, in a different state, before he died, but he died a minute before I walked in the door. I think about it every day and I hate myself for it. It's amazing how 60 seconds can ruin a life. I never got to say goodbye. Goodbye, Father. I am sorry.
1805. In elementary school, me and my best friend tried to kill ourselves by eating poisonous leaves. I actually didn't really want to, but did anyways, because she was my best friend and I could never live without her. The leaves never did anything to us. We were only 10.
1813. I'm bored with my life. I want to join the circus and play on the flying trapeze, and hope I don't fall. And if I do, at least I hope I don't fall into the audience.
1836. I lost my virginity when I was 18. I did it with one guy. Then my friend and I switched. I lost my virginity to 2 guys in the same night.
1838. When my husband is having sex with me, I try to leave the TV on in the other room so at least I can listen to the news.
2001. Me and my best buddy talk 1 hour every day about every girl we meet. We have sex with them in our minds. This makes us happy.
2023. My cat got shot with a pellet gun before I adopted him. When I found out he had the pellets still in his flanks at the vet's, I wondered how anyone could do anything so cruel. After owning his annoying ass for over 2 years, now I know.
2068. When I was in elementary school, there was this metal climbing contraption in the playground. It had these pegs and slots and you were supposed to keep raising the pegs up to the next notch and pull yourself up that way. I remember in 4th grade not being able to do more than 1 notch. Some of the jock kids made fun of me. That always bugged me. Zoom ahead 20 years. I despise my job. I fight all the time with my wife. I hate my life. And then just before Thanksgiving, my wife left me a note saying she was going to live with her sister out in California. That was it. 1 note and she was gone. So you know what I did? I hopped in the car and started driving. I didn't know where I was going at first. But soon enough it occurred to me. I drove 200 miles back to my elementary school. I got there at almost midnight. The gate was locked so I jumped the fence to the playground. Then I spit on my hands and rubbed them together just like I used to do back in 4th grade. I grabbed hold of those metal pegs and I climbed on up. All the way to the top. My do-over.
2083. Back before Mr. Mayor had them all removed, I once went into one of those peep show places on 8th Avenue in Times Square. There were these booths where I had to put dollar tokens in a slot to make a curtain rise up. Behind the pane of glass was this woman, quite good looking. Not an old hag, like I expected. She asked me to expose myself, which I did. Then she told me to rub myself, which I did. By like 10 tokens later, I had an orgasm. My secret: I'm a happily married woman.
2092. Happy birthday, Iris Rose. Even though you died 6 years ago, I still celebrate your birthday because I am glad you were born. I love you. Mommy, March 10th.
2127. My wife doesn't know I take Viagra.
2131. When I was 10, I took a shortcut through the swamp. I saw a white ball half sticking in the muck, so I kicked it. But it wasn't a ball at all. It was a skull. I poked a stick through the eye socket and carried it home. My mother screamed and called the police. They roped off the area and did their investigation. They determined the skeleton was named George somebody, I forget. He was living at a local nursing home 10 years earlier. He went out for a walk one day and never returned. A 10-year-old mystery solved. The story made the local paper. There was a photo of me. The police said they didn't suspect foul play. They recovered all of George's bones except for a few vertebrae that the animals had probably carried off. Case closed. They were almost right. When I poked that stick into the eye socket, I also poked another stick through the backbones. They were in my garage. I wanted a souvenir. Sorry, George.
2135. If AIDS didn't come along exactly when it did to scare the shit out of me, I'd be a gay man right now, living in Greenwich Village. I'd be sucking on cocks and having bizarre sex orgies in underground clubs. But AIDS did come along. So instead, I live in the suburbs with my wife and 2 kids. I attend school meetings, trim my hedges, and go to church every Sunday. I am an uncounted casualty.
2168. On our anniversary, I buy my wife whatever flowers are the cheapest. She says, "I love how you think outside the box. You don't always just get the same old red roses. You get me pink ones or yellow ones." Yeah, and I save $5 too.
2175. I bought my wife a strap-on for Valentine's Day. She laughed. But she never got the hint.
2219. I once found a pair of another woman's panties mixed up with my clothes in the dryer. They must have been overlooked by whoever used the dryer before me. They were the right size, so I kept them.
2232. I sneak into a local motel and use their pool. They don't know who is staying there.
2255. There is this very good-looking guy who gives me a massage every week at the gym. When he is working on my thighs, he always manages to push the towel up so high on my bottom that I know he can see some things he is not supposed to see. But I don't mind. My husband would mind if he knew, but I don't mind.
2264. I bought my wife and my girlfriend the same present for Christmas. They'll never know, so it doesn't matter.
2267. I broke up with my last girlfriend via email. Not only that, I used the same email message I had written for a previous girlfriend.
2303. I had an ongoing affair with my wife's best friend. She was this really crazy chick and we had very intense no-holds-barred sex. Then one day, my wife starts telling me about how her best friend is having a steamy affair. She doesn't know who the guy is. Someone from the office is what the best friend said. But my wife tells me how they are doing all these dirty things together. And every day thereafter my wife would give me updates. Oh, he did it on her face. Oh, he did her in the butt. Oh, she sucked on his balls. My wife never knew that these sexcapades she was describing to me were actually being done by me. Scary yet so exciting. I'd even have my wife repeat some of the details of what the guy was doing with her friend while I was banging my wife. Love can certainly get complicated.
2316. When the phone rings and there is nobody on the other end, I sometimes think it might be an assassin checking to see if I'm home before he comes over to kill me. For the next 10 minutes, I'll keep an eye out to see if any cars pull up the driveway.
2319. Sometimes I wear his boxers to work, just so I know he is still touching me there.
2323. Me and my roomie shave each other's hard-to-reach places. We never thought of this as weird or sexual or anything, it's just something we do for each other.